Welcome back, Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, today's edition of the show, I have Michael. Good evening to you, Mike, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening to you, and good evening to our viewers out there.
All right, let's quickly take a look at, the situation of things as it concerns cricket in the country. The Nigerian cricket team, of course, they secured their spot. The 2026 International Cricket Council T20 World Cup African Qualifiers Finals with one game to spare. Nigerian capped off an impressive outing at the sub-regional C qualifiers in Abuja by beating Botswana to the title. The Yellow Greens won after beating Botswana by 7 runs to complete a 5-match unbeaten streak at the tournament, which hosted at the twin overs of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. Both countries had qualified for the regional finals, which will be played in July 2025, but yesterday's clash was the title decider as both teams were leveled on 8 points heading into the last day of the series. Impressive one, of course, for the Yellow Greens of Team Nigeria. Michael, I don't know what you make of their performance so far. We've actually experienced massive growth when it has to do with cricket in the country, and it's actually showing at this point in time. What do you make of the momentum so far for the cricket team down here in Nigeria?
I think it's a great one for the cricket team. And if you follow the game very well, you should dawn on you that cricket remains one of the oldest sports right here in the country. And of course, they are doing a lot in that regard. These Ticolos men, they did pretty well, going unbeaten throughout the tournament, or rather throughout the regional World Cup qualification, winning all their games. Even with a game to spare, they had already, topped with 10 points out there. But then yesterday's game was more like the final decider of who was going to be crowned as the best team. And of course, they came out top in that very one. A very, very impressive one against, a very hard fighting, side as well, who also did not do very bad in this very one because they came second in that very one. So finishing first and second, pitting the 2 tickets available clearly tells you that indeed they were the best country against the likes of Helena Republic, Sierra Leone, even Ivory Coast that were very poor. So for me, I think it's a great one for the Steve Ticolos men. But this is just the first phase of it. The second phase of the qualifier comes up, but I think they've been able to do a good job. Let's hope that they can continue to create this fine form and create history, for the cricket team. But I tell you, for the cricket team, they've been one of the really stable side, you want to say, right?
All right, let's see how it goes. Of course, for the Yellow Greens of Nigeria, Suleiman Rinsawi and Isaac Dandali led the charge for Steve Ticolos men, making 75 runs from 53 balls and 80 runs from 45 balls respectively, as Nigeria coasted home to 118 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in 20 overs. Player of the match, Raid 1 Abdul Karim was a thorn in the flesh of Botswana, grabbing 6 wickets with line as Nigeria limited them to just 104 runs for the loss of 10 wickets in 18.2 overs. Nigeria finished top of the series with a 100% record and 10 points, followed by Botswana and second with 8 points. Sierra Leone claimed the third position, start with a commanding 112-run victory over Eswatini, scoring 158 runs for the loss of 8 wickets and barring Eswatini out of just 46 runs. St. Helena, with just 1 win, were 5th, while the winless debutant Ivory Coast were rocked to the bottom of the table. Nigeria and Botswana would now join Tanzania, Malawi, Zimbabwe, Kenya, and the 2 African representatives at the last T20 World Cup, Namibia and Uganda, who are drawn by to the regional final. The top 2 teams from the final phase of the qualifiers would join South Africa as Africa's 3 representatives at the World Cup in India and Sri Lanka in 2026. Let's see how this one, of course, will pan out for Team Nigeria. So far, a very impressive performance, you see, from what we've seen, and we hope that they will continue with this impressive performance. But away from that, let's head straight. We told you, of course, March day 15 of the Nigerian Premier Football League will be upon us this weekend. And some interesting fixture, you will see, as Bender Insurance, of course, who lock ons against Plateau United, was to see Lobby Stars against Choir United, Economic Warriors against Bayelsa United, Rivers United, who lock ons against Kano Pillars, Ikorodu City against Aqua United, Niger Tornadoes against Remo Stars, and Katsina United will be national against Sunshine Stars. Was to see Heartland against National United. Shooting Stars will lock ons against Abia Warriors, Enyimba against Enugu Rangers. Those are the fixtures, of course, we'll be expecting this weekend. Michael, it promises to be an exciting one. Once again, Rivers United, Kano Pillars, one game that everyone, of course, will want to watch out for. I don't know what you make of that encounter.
It's going to be a tough game for both sides because for Kano Pillars, they have not been doing very bad, of late with the, star-studded players that they have in their ranks. The likes. These are going to, determine the shape on how the table is going to, turn around or resharpen the way the games or the teams are being lined up in the top table out there. And that is why I'm thinking it's going to be a very difficult game this weekend for Rivers United. But I expect Finidi to at least get all 3 points, especially playing at home at the Adoki Amasimaka Stadium that seems to be a slaughter ground for, Rivers United. I expect them to get all 3 points, but it's not going to come, very easy because, like I said earlier, they are going to meet a very formidable opponent in Kano Pillars. Let's
see how this one, of course, will pan out this weekend. But at this point in time, we also see the likes of Enyimba against Rangers. Michael, I don't know what you make of this fixture. Another interesting fixture, of course, to watch out for this weekend.
Another interesting fixture to watch out. Like I said, some of these games is going to, determine how the table is going to take shape as it is because Rivers United, Kano Pillars, a very important game because Rivers United will be hoping to bounce back into the, summit of the log. Then Enugu Rangers, who is the defending champion, they are not also doing very bad. They are still within, reach of catching up with the league leader. Just few points adrift of Remo Stars and even the Rivers United we are talking about. And it's going to be a very tough one against Enyimba side that went for, CAF Confederations Cup a few days ago and lost to Al Masry of Egypt 2-0. So coming back to...
So we'll take a break and we'll come back from this break. I'll continue to look at the fixtures as well as other stories revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Stay with us right back.
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human
on the point of order.
Honorable
on them. They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
from the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains.
You're welcome back. Steve Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television Network, and of course we'll bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sports this moment. All right, let's quickly move on as we take a look at the situation of things with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Super Eagles dropped from 36th in the world to 44th in the latest FIFA rankings, and that's of course a huge worry, you say, for some Nigerians as it is. Michael, what could be responsible for the drop we've seen in the latest FIFA ranking for the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
I think for me, the Super Eagles in the ranking release. So sometimes people think that the ranking doesn't really matter, but it actually does. It actually does, because the outcome of the two games that we played in the last international window clearly shows that if you don't do very well, it will certainly affect your ranking, and that is what we've seen. Since 2013, I think the highest we've come close is to finish or to be ranked within 26 or 26 position. And the last time we were seated in a very comfortable position was third in Africa. You know, since then, it has not been very easy. I think before now, we were seated at 39th, you know, but quite disappointing. We felt like the Naira is falling against the dollar right now, which for me, I think is quite disappointing. It calls for more questioning. It calls for more worry for NFF to see if they can be able to make a decisive decision right now on either to appoint Osne Guavo or in a substantive coaching position, or bring in a new coach. A few days ago, we saw, the Englishman talking about Hills putting up an application for the Super Eagles job, and we also hear that there are other foreign coaches as well that have also dropped their CV for the Super Eagles job. Osne Guavo is on an interim capacity as it is. It means that we don't have a permanent coach, and for a country such as the Super Eagles not having a permanent coach, it calls for more worry, especially considering the fact that the World Cup qualifier is very soon. We'll meet about 4 to 5 months coming, and it's in March or May. Then we still don't have a substantive coach, and this, if it continue to go this way, I tell you, we will continue to drop down the pecking order. Now we have even shifted to 44th in the world, allowing even Morocco in Africa right here to dispossess us from the 4th position to 5th as it is right now. So all these things are some of the factors that have actually made the Super Eagles to drop in the ranking, and that is why I said I'm not very, very shocked. I'm not very, very, unaware of the fact that it has been a very disappointing outing for Osne Guavo in the last 2 games that we've actually played. And like I said, more questions for NFF to see if they are going to appoint a substantive coach or give Osne Guavo, who is the technical advisor, the job on a permanent basis. Because as it is right now, you cannot hold Osne Guavo responsible as it is, because people will say, oh, after all, he's not a permanent coach, he's acting on an interim capacity, therefore we should not hold him responsible. But then, if you are giving him the job on a permanent basis, we can hold him responsible. If you don't want to give him the job on a permanent basis, then appoint a substantive coach so that we can know who to hold responsible. So I think for me, it's quite disappointing that as a giant of Africa, we are not making the position or the standing in African football or even the world football to stand in a very better position. Is it difficult, or will it be a crime that if we are ranked first in Africa? Will it be a crime if we are ranked second or third in the world? Let me not just exaggerate, but rank within the top 10 in the world of football. So for me, I think these are more questions for the NFF out there and their men at the glass house to answer Nigerians.
Let's see how this one goes down. We hope that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will be able to get things done at the end of the day. We hope probably Osne Guavon, maybe he will be the man at the helm of affairs, or the NFF, that's the Nigerian Football Federation, will have to change a manager. But away from that, Nigerian quartets, Demola Lukman, William Truss Ekong, Paul Onuachu, and Assis Shola have been nominated for the Best FIFA Award 2024. Atalanta star Lukman is nominated in the Best Attackers category, the 27-year-old who finished 14th, and the Ballon d'Or ranking is also the favorite to win the CAF Men's Player of the Year. His compatriot Truss Ekong is in contention for the Best Defender award. The centre-back was named Most Valuable Player at the 2023 African Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire early this year. Forward Onuachu is in the running for the Puskas Award, which recognizes the best goal for the year. The 30-year-old goal against Konyaspor in the 2023-24 Super League during his loan at Transport was shortlisted. Super Falcons forward Ashirishola is nominated for the FIFA Martyr Award. The newly introduced award is for the best goal of the year. Michael, what do you make of Nigerian players being shortlisted in the FIFA Best Award?
It's a good one for me that Nigerian players have been nominated, but then we must face the reality. The reality is, can Truss Ekong win this very one? I do not think so. You know, because though he had an impressive season for the Super Eagles in the last AFCON, then started on a very good note when he moved to the Saudi Pro League out there, been doing fantastic job out there. But then I think players like Dani Carvajal, the Spanish, who did pretty well for the Spanish national team and also for Real Madrid as well. So for me, I think, and this is the reason why I'm thinking that Truss Ekong might not possibly win this one. Then for Lukman Ademola, a man of the moment for Atlanta, the golden boy as it is for Atlanta, the vocal point of Atlanta attack as it is right now. Since last season, very instrumental for the Atlanta side, scoring that hat-trick in the Europa final that helped them, you know, to lift the European trophy for almost 100 and something years out there, you know, with Gasperini. Then again, did pretty well for the Super Eagles in the last African Cup of Nations, scoring 3 goals, helping us to get to the final when we finish in second position behind the winner, talking about, you know, our own Lukman Ademola, who also had an impressive season. You know, so for me, in as much as it is good to see or hear our players being nominated in different category of the award, I do think there are some other factors that we need to also consider that will actually punctuate them and not winning some of these major trophies. Paul Onuachu scored one of the brilliant goals out there, but we still have other players that also scored, you know, beautiful goal, you know, last season that is going to stand on his way in terms of winning this very one. I think the only person, maybe Assis Shola, okay, but there are some other players as well that also did pretty well. So for me, I think it is very good, very okay that Nigerian players are getting the prominent, you know, but then we still need to do more to be at par with other players that are ahead of them.
Let's see how it goes for the Nigerian players. We hope they get something huge this time around. Let's talk about the men's best men's player nominees, as we saw the likes of Dani Carvajal, Erling Braut Haaland as well in that particular category. I also saw the likes of Federico Valverde and the likes of Florian Wirtz, of course, is in that category, and we also saw the likes of Jude Bellingham in that one, Kylian Mbappe also in that list as well. Lamine Yamal, that's a particular one, and the likes of Lionel Messi, and of course we saw the likes of Toni Kroos in that particular list as it stands. And those are of course the players, of course, that are there. Vinicius Junior is also there. Michael, I don't know what you make of the list for the best men's player nominee.
Very compact list, you want to say. Most of the players, you know, rolled out there as some of the nominees. I think they truly deserve to be mentioned, as well as all of them did pretty well for both club and country. But I think the one that stands out most is Lamine Yamal, the young teenager, did pretty well for the Spanish national team as well, helping them to win the Euros. Then again, being a very vocal point for Barcelona, last season as well, has also continued, to blaze on even this season before that, little setback courtesy of that injury. Last of Erling Braut Haaland, a very great player, did pretty well for last season as well. Vinicius Junior did very well for Real Madrid, but then in terms of, his country, maybe that is where the question marks lie. So for me, I think it's going to be a highly contested one. Kylian Mbappe did not mojo, and that is why I look as though Madrid is currently struggling. But then, I tell you, all these players listed for these, categories, they truly deserve to be mentioned. But then, we'll give it time to see the yardstick to which FIFA is going to, actually use to weigh who is going to emerge as the winner of those different categories.
All right, let's see how that one, of course, will go down. But let's quickly move on. So we'll take a look at the Premier League. Brighton will be in action against Southampton, as we'll also see Brentford against Leicester City. Crystal Palace will lock on against Newcastle United. Nottingham Forest will be in action against Ipswich Town, and Wolverhampton Wanderers will also lock on against Bournemouth. We'll see West Ham United against Arsenal Football Club, Chelsea against Aston Villa. Manchester United will lock on against Everton, and Tottenham Hotspur against Fulham. Liverpool will be in action against Manchester City as well. Michael, I don't know what you make of that encounter.
So many reasons. Many want to set their eyes on that very one, because Liverpool have continued to blaze on, topping the UEFA Champions League table, then again topping in the EPL table as it is right now. And contrary to Manchester City, that have actually struggled so far this season, both in all competition out there, playing 6 games, losing 5 in a row, drawing 1. I think it has been a very poor, form for Manchester City, and that is why so many will be keeping their eyes close to this very counter, especially for Liverpool, who also defeated the UEFA Champions League holder, talking about Real Madrid, over the midweek in the UEFA Champions League. 2-0, it ended in their favor at Anfield. Then coming up against a Manchester City side that seems to be in a very serious trouble as it is right now with Joe.
And of course, at this point, we'll call it a wrap on the show. And of course, Tramo is going to bring you some of the action when we'll make a return for the weekend edition of Sports Extraordinary on Atlantic Television and Network. We can't go without telling you that, yes, the Yellow Greens, they are our sports extraordinaire for, of course, putting up that impressive feat in the qualifiers, of course, we saw. Special thanks to Mike for doing justice on the show this evening. My name is Kingsley Manuel. Thanks for watching.
Bye.